So 30.3 million people. There are 30.3 million people in the United States who have diabetes. There are 84.1 million people who have pre-diabetes. And then coming back to, and that was a statistic taken from the CDC in 2015. And then in California alone, there are 4 million people who have diabetes, and 1 million of them don't even know that they have it. There are 10 million people who are pre-diabetes, meaning that they have insulin, but it's not working as well as it should, and their body just isn't accepting it the way that ours would right now. Excuse me. So basically, I'm here to talk about living a more healthy lifestyle and to persuade you to basically take that more into consideration and really implement it into your life, because eating healthier, exercising, and just having healthy alternatives are better options than doing nothing at all, because being sedentary and living that kind of lifestyle leads to other health risks. So first I'm going to start by explaining basically what diabetes is for maybe some of you that don't understand it fully. And there's type 1, type 2, and there is a gestational diabetes, but that's more for women during pregnancy, so I'm sure that probably doesn't apply to a lot of you. But type 1 is basically you're insulin dependent and your body can't make enough insulin. Type 2, you have insulin, but you're insulin resistant. So your body makes it, but it's not, like I said, working the way that it should be working. Excuse me. And a lot of other causes go for being diabetic. So even if you're pre-diabetic, some people don't know that they are. So they're just they're eating whatever they want, they're not exercising, they're kind of living the way that they normally would without knowing really what the consequences are that they're doing to themselves. And having diabetes also leads to other issues such as heart disease and stroke and other things like that. But there are ways to go about it to really address those issues, and one of them is exercising. So implementing exercise into your daily activities, whether you're getting up to walk, going on a run, maybe even just go walking around the mall with your friends. You're getting out, you're doing something, you're not just sitting on your butt doing nothing. And there are certain exercises such as aerobic or lifting weights, or even if you just like doing dancing or something like that, it's a way to get your body flowing, because when you move and you exercise, that is making your heart stronger. It's making your bones, your muscles, everything a lot stronger, which is helping aid in the blood flow through your body, which is decreasing your chance of getting type 2 diabetes or even being pre-diabetic. It's decreasing your chances of any other health issues along the line. Because that's, for people, it really does depend on your family history, genetics, your age, and things like that. So for type 1, unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do about avoiding it, but it just does depend on your family history, whether you have it within maybe your grandparents, your parents, or someone had it down the line. I have it in my family. Luckily, I don't have it right now, but it does run in my family line. Type 2 diabetes, you are able to prevent it, but it does increase if you're over the age of 45, if you're kind of just obese for your age and basically your body build, because obviously everyone is different. We can't say that I'm going to be the same as someone else, so they're not all based off the same person. But yeah, definitely working out helps eliminate a lot of those factors, so you're able to avoid all those risk factors as you get older. If you create those good habits now, you'll avoid those in the future. And the next thing is also eating healthier, having an overall clean diet. So I always hated when people came to me and they said, oh, you can't eat that, you can't eat that, that's not good for you. And it's not so much that you can't eat it, it's how much of it are you eating, what are you eating? Are you choosing ice cream over maybe some fruits that you should have? Are you choosing cookie dough over a smoothie, I'm not gonna lie, I love cookie dough, so I'm not hating on anyone that likes it, but definitely not your best option. But there definitely are other alternatives as well to that. There are kind of like holistic ways to go about it. They have, me and my mom are now starting to use turmeric. It's actually in a drinkable. It's like an orange flavor. It's kind of weird, but it's not bad. And turmeric is an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, so it's actually really good for you. It helps. So for me, I've had knee problems, so it really helps with any swelling or discomfort that I have with it. And there's a lot of other things. I think garlic as well, it's good for your cholesterol and blood sugar, so it kind of helps keep that low, especially if you are potentially pre-diabetic. It can help eliminate those factors altogether and just keep you basically at a healthier state of mind as well. And so that also leads into kind of my next point of alternatives, just healthy alternatives. If you're not someone that likes to work out, or if you don't like going to the gym and things like that, you're able to do yoga, you can do acupuncture, you can do acrobatics, you can do really whatever you want to do as long as you're not sitting around and being sedentary. I honestly really like the quote. It's from Elle Woods, it's from Legally Blonde, but she says that exercise creates endorphins make people happy, and happy people don't just kill their husbands. Of course, that last part doesn't apply to us, but endorphins do make you happy. They release the stress and anxiety that you're feeling, which in turn just creates a healthier mind and a healthier just body altogether from the inside out. And there is a Dr. Gustafsson from Sweden who stated that for all of us that are on our phones, she took basically a survey that said about 56 young adults, half of them, so about 28, said that overuse of their phones, using them all the time, being hunched over and all that stuff, cause arm, wrist, neck, and back pain. Because when I look at it too, I do know that I don't sit up straight, I don't have good posture, I don't hold my phone out here when I'm texting, I'm hunched over, I'm looking down. And over excess use of that does create a lot of other health problems as well. So it's not good for blood flow circulation because you're not sitting the way that you should and you're allowing all the blood flow to go through, to have a healthy heart and everything like that. So really, it's just about taking those precautions and doing the necessary things. I know, like, we're all young right now, and this is like the prime time to really be active and get out and have fun with your friends. Make it an activity. You don't have to do it by yourself. Go to Disneyland, like some people like to do. Go to the mall. Go to the beach. Go do anything. If you have pets, walk your dog. If you have a cat, you can be that person that puts a leash on your cat. Walk them around. It's fine. But just really get out, be active, and avoid being in that million. Avoid being part of that 84 million people, because that's a big number. And over the years, it's increased, and we really should be bringing it back down.
Nikki, what did you think?
Thank you for mentioning Disneyland. That made me happy. Overall, I thought it was very informative. I thought it was really good. I was very interested in the whole time. When you first started, though, you were very, a little bit quiet. And then as you, started to, really go through with the speech, you started getting louder. And your presentation, I thought it was good. You were a little bit fidgety, but it's okay. But yeah, for the most part, I thought it was good. And I was doing it.
Well, I like the statistics as the attention device. You sound like you're talking about diabetes at first, and that's the focus. But then your goal is more about lifestyle and maybe addressing the way people live, and then it comes back to diabetes. So it sounds like that is really the primary motivator behind some of the suggestions that you're making, which is okay. You define the different types of diabetes pretty clearly. You need to preview a structure for us, because I can't really tell how this information has been put together and what pattern exists here. It feels quite random at times. Sometimes we're going back to the issue of diabetes, and sometimes we're off on another tangent, and then we're talking about exercise strategies, and then we're talking about sedentary lifestyle, and then we're talking about exercise strategies again. So it really feels like it's not as well organized as it needs to be. I think you've got good information here, and you've got, like, if you took everything that you had and structured it a little bit more clearly, you'd have an argument that builds a little bit more effectively. As it is, it feels like we just kind of are wandering around, and occasionally we're acknowledging, well, this is here, and then, oh, look over there, there's this other thing that's going on. I think you need a little bit more information in your presentation. You had some statistical data at the beginning that you did give a source for, and then at the end we get a quote from Elle Woods. Not exactly nothing wrong with using that, but it's not exactly what we would call a high credibility source for the argument about working out. But I think it would have been a good way to introduce that idea. But there should have been some follow-up on it. The information from Dr. Gustafson is really about a side issue. It's about this phone thing that you're talking about and the way that we are creating additional problems for ourselves. So it feels excuse me, sort of like we've gone off on this other tangent, and I'm not sure why it is I'm listening to this when I started off with the other issues. I think you've got some reasonable suggestions about things that people could do to improve their lifestyles and maybe integrate themselves a little bit more with more activity in their lives. The simple ones that you mentioned are good. Again, I think some proof that walking your dog or cat or going to the mall is going to make a difference in your life. Oh, I don't need to worry about diabetes anymore. I spent 2 hours at the mall yesterday. I'm not exactly sure that that's the solution that we're looking for, but what you want to do is emphasize that there's activity that's involved with doing that. That you're walking around, that you're not just sitting in a particular position. That's the sedentary lifestyle that contributes so much to diabetic problems. I think your presentation is pretty solid. You express yourself in a very relatable way. You are talking to us and trying to engage us, and you're personable while you're doing that, which I think everybody appreciates. That they're not being lectured to, they're being talked to, and that I think comes across pretty effectively. And you have a little bit of humor here and there, which I think also helps. You have very solid audience contact during the presentation. Sometimes I think your gestures are maybe a little bit limited, but there was nothing that was a huge problem there. All right, thank you.